say, hot topic, which is OKRs and performance management, and more precisely, individual performance management. So, Polly.
It's
okay.
Yeah, no problem at all. So what we really thought as a group was we wanted to give you a lay of the land. So very much, I'm sure if you have research about OKRs, at some point you'll end up on this article that says, okay, OKR and performance, like, they shouldn't be linked together, or like you'll hear some people that goes, yes, you should. So we thought it was very important to set the stage and very much explain to you, like, where does that actually comes from? Right. And this is what you can see on the slide, is to be able to say that OKRs and individual performance, while they are related, they also have very distinct purpose and distinct outcome in terms of why you're doing X and why you're doing Y. So in terms of, again, for OKRs, it's very much about driven, like, by the business. Like we just saw with this beautiful sort of like mapping is very often, right, you'll have your company OKRs and KPIs working together. It starts cascading down, right? So the previous slide of talking about the cascade, this is around OKRs, right? It's like, how do we all come together? It's very business focused. It's very team focused. Whereas, of course, as you get into the individual performance, you're looking at not only your business outcome, but also how are you evolving as an individual, right? So as we talk about individual performance, we're looking at you, me, Wendy, as an example, as a program manager. What goals do you have? Some of them, of course, you want them to be linked to the business, but this is where the two distinction definitely comes in, is in terms of individual performance. Again, it's, you're talking about it during your once a year, twice a year performance review. OKRs, you're talking about it on a regular basis. And Polly will talk to us about her rhythm of business within her team. But the big thing that I want to call out, and I mean, you'll get so many different, different take on it. The big thing with OKRs and individual performance is very much what Strathros was talking about with OKR and KPI, right? It's not like they can work separately. It's like they want to be able to help each other, right? So one is by able to talk about your business goal with your employees in a performance review or a one-on-one, it drives the purpose of goal, right? So you as a manager, you can remove blockers, you can see what are the great things that they are doing, you can talk about the skills and behaviors, you can talk about, hey, what are the learnings that you might need to do to be better at your role? And then being able to use OKRs to be able to drive that process, right? So just as a quick example, even for myself, when I wanted to get promoted to the next level, it was my manager was able to say, Wendy, I need you to show impact on the organization. And we would sit down together and talk about what are the skills and competencies I need. This is the individual part of the performance, but also how am I contributing to the actual business outcome, right? And this is where the OKR part comes in. So it's not to say that they should be completely separate. There is a way to be able to complementary work around it. But the biggest thing I want you to leave with is OKRs is not 100% related to individual performance. So what I mean by that is if I have my goals and I achieve 100% of it, it doesn't mean that I automatically should get a 5% bonus. We want to use OKR as a way to drive the conversation in your performance management to talk about your impact on the business. I think a better way to explain it is Polly will definitely want to call and share, how do we do it at Microsoft?
Thank you, Wendy. So this is really important, what Wendy already said, the differentiation between OKRs and individual performance goals. And in Microsoft, we have another process that we call Connect that happens twice a year. And this is a process that when it happens, OKR output is an input, but it's not the input. Okay, this is really important. It's just an input. Because when we do our Connect, we're looking also on other things like 360 feedback. Okay, so we take feedback from our colleagues, how we have done our job during this semester. Okay, so this is really important to take it under consideration. Behaviors. So how do I communicate? How do I behave with my teammates, with my peers? with my members, with my team members. So these are other important aspects that we need to take under consideration. Also, how do I support the culture of the company? How do I live the values of the company? How I demonstrate these values? It's really important, okay? Especially in Microsoft, we have a strong D&I, diversity and inclusion culture. So me as a leader, I have to demonstrate all these actually values. And what am I doing around that is something that it's part not of my OKRs, but it's part of my individual performance management discussion, okay, the individual development discussion that I have with my manager. And also something really important to know is that all these contributions, cannot actually be included in all the employee contribution cannot be included in OKRs. For example, as a leader, I have to do a lot of mentorship. Okay, I have to mentor to be mentor of other colleagues of mine, and I have to do internal and external mentors. I'm also a startup mentor. So these are things that are not being included under the OKR umbrella, but they are things that are being discussed when I do the conversation with my manager around values, around other behaviors that I have to showcase as a leader. So this is the difference, and I try to give you a lot of examples just for you to understand these differences. Let me move on, because I think we have already said enough on this area, and discuss a little bit about how we started in Microsoft, because you have already heard a lot of theory, let's say, not theory. We try to give you a lot of examples as well, but okay, everybody will think, oh, how can I start with OKRs? Is this something that it's too difficult? And I will share our lessons learned. What is the benefits? I tried to give you a couple of that, but what were our challenges and also challenges that we face at the moment? And I will try to deep dive on these. So I belong to an organization that is a global organization, and this organization is called Experience and Devices. We're talking about around 40,000 employees around the world. So we're distributed geographically all over the world. And we have actually, the challenges that we faced in the beginning, it was the following. We have different rhythms of business and goal targets, of course, because our division creates different products. So we're responsible for M365 as a product. We're responsible for some for the Surface laptops and other equipment that we have. So you can understand different products, so different goal targets and different business. So this was a big challenge for us. Also, the decision making was slow, because it was not a lot of clarity around the organization about the goals, and there was a lot of dependency as well amongst different teams. And we spent a lot of time in meetings, and I think you all resonate with that, because we were trying actually to connect and to understand what each other is doing. And this actually, of course, takes effort, energy. And when you're distributed across different geographies and different time zones, this actually, it takes a lot of your productivity as well. So in Microsoft, we use Viva Goals. We have a tool in order to ensure that OKRs all our OKRs are being depicted. And this actually tool is available to every employee of Microsoft, from Experience and Devices, but also from other organizations that are including their OKRs in the same tool. And we have seen a lot of benefits out of that: better alignment, better focus, and of course, transparency. But let me go to a little bit more detail to give you a little bit of information of the breadth and how much we have embraced the OKR framework, and how much now is the OKR framework is embedded in our DNA. So from a leadership perspective, and this is the three boxes that you see at the top of this pyramid, we have around 150 different organizations, okay, that they have already depicted their OKRs. 90% of this organization, they do check-ins that are very important, okay? And from these OKRs, and we're talking about level 1 and level 2 OKRs over here, these 84% are public. Of course, you can understand that some very confidential projects that take place in our organization, and not all OKRs can be depicted broadly to all our employees. When it comes now to the team level, and this is the the 5 boxes that you see underneath, we have 26,000 users that they have access to Viva Goals, to our tool, and they use this tool actually to go and do check-ins and also seek OKRs and take consultation actually around what other teams are doing, how we can collaborate with them, things that we need to do in order to be in full alignment. Over 900 teams have created their OKRs. For year 2023, we had 32,000 OKRs in the tool registered and recorded, and 99% of these teams OKRs are fully public. Okay, and as you can understand, we're all aligned up on 95% of these OKRs. So you can understand over here how we're working. OKR framework and OKRs are, it is at the heart of our organization in order to align and in order actually to work better all together. And in order to get to these states, the states that we are as Microsoft at the moment, first of all, you need to have a good team behind that, a strong team behind that. It's really important. So how can you start on that? Of course, your business leader needs to fully support such a change. We are talking about a big change. And it's not only, this person is not going to be just a leader that will embrace and will start utilizing the OKR framework, but we're talking about a real sponsor. Okay, it has to be the person that will model this change. It will be the person that will talk about OKRs and will also demonstrate how the value of OKRs across the organization. You need goal owners, okay, and goal owners are people actually that are accountable to drive and report the progress of the goals, okay. You need a planning person. This is people that you already have in your organizations, and when you do all your planning process, you already have these roles. Okay, people that they do the check-ins, they are going to chase, let's say, the team managers to ensure that the check-ins are done on the right time. And you need champions as well. In our team, we have a champion, and because I'm running at the moment a very big initiative, and we go live soon with this initiative, I reached out yesterday to my champion and I said, okay, how, I have these OKRs. Is this the right OKRs to put for this initiative in place? So I'm getting there all the support that I need from this person to ensure that the OKRs that have been depicted and defined are the proper ones. And I'm getting advice on what do I need to improve or what other things I need to consider in order to have the proper OKRs depicted. And last but not least, the stakeholders is that it's all the people that they're going to have access. It's going to be the president, it's going to be the CEO, everybody in the company that actually needs to be aligned behind that. So you need to carefully work around this change, looking after each of these persona. Okay, so you need to work with your business sponsor and the business leader very close. You need to educate the goal owners differently. Also, planning managers are going to play a huge role, and finding champions that they're going to be, you're going through a gamification or other models that you can use. You can actually give them some more incentives to become a good champion around that. Is really important. And last but not least, educate your stakeholders. It's another task that needs to be done. And I'm moving now how this can be done actually, because we didn't start from day one with having all this, this thousands of OKRs that we have at the moment in our tool. You start small and you grow actually. And of course, when we started our journey, it was like 2 years ago, okay, almost 2 years ago. We started only with level 1 and level 2 OKRs and totally specific teams. Not every team in our organization actually started utilizing the OKR framework. And in the beginning, what has happened is that when we started our journey, it was a lot of promotion. Okay, our leaders was promoting that in every important meeting. In Microsoft, we have all hands that take place monthly or quarterly, or there are big meetings and big events that we share our mission and vision. Our leader there, it was communicating our vision and mission through the OKRs. So the leader was demonstrating our mission through the OKRs and through by utilizing the platform that we're having. So start small and start promoting that to everybody in the organization. The second actually step that we did after that was to start getting at a lower level, okay, getting to a team level. And this is the most difficult part, I have to say that. And this is where you need to include more champions, okay, over here to help teams to define the OKRs, okay, how to better define the OKRs. And of course, this is a level where you need also partners and people that they know about OKRs like altoWebinar to help you to define the right OKRs in place. The third step that you have to do is commit, okay? And meaning that now every discussion that we have in the organization needs to be done under the OKRs that we have defined. It needs to be done based on our project. So do we have weekly meetings with the team? Do we have bi-weekly? It depends, of what is your rhythm. You have actually to do all this discussion based on the OKRs. How do we do with the OKRs? What do we need actually to achieve our goals? This is actually the third step. And of course, you can get to the step that we are at the moment, the rollout broadly, that everybody in our organization has defined their OKRs, everything has defined the OKRs, and we're all aligned behind that, where actually all discussions now are made around this. Okay, these are OKRs. I need to have a new initiative. How does this fit with the OKRs? I'm having a new partnership. We're going to, okay, let's see how we can partner better. Let's see your OKRs. Let's see my OKRs, and let's find common ground. Do we need to change anything on our OKRs? So this will come after 2 years. So you shouldn't actually get stressed. You should start slowly this journey. Start as said with level 1 and level 2. And you can start adding more divisions, more teams, and more organizations at a slow pace. And of course, always putting the right team to support all these change with champions and the right sponsorship. And this is our advice from our experience so far. And Manos, over to you for your experience.
Thank you. First of all, even though we have discussed previously your rollout, it's really impressive because all these teams and all these OKRs in such an organization we do not see very often. I think we do not have such a case, at least so far in the Greek market. But we have some very, very interesting cases that we'd like to share with you. But before sharing these cases, I would like just to remind you that if you have any questions, please feel free to send them to the Q&A or to the chat. We have already 2 questions, and we would like to have more to discuss further on. So let's see 3 case studies, 3 companies in the Greek market, 3 companies in different industries and with different sizes. So the first one is Qualco. Qualco is a leading tech company, fintech company actually. They have been starting working with OKR since 2021, and we had the opportunity to work with them this couple of years. And what is the most important is that people over there see the value and see the difference when they have implemented OKRs, they have rolled out OKRs in the whole company. So the executive vice president of operations, Aggelos Karasterios, have mentioned many times that they help them improve and simplify their processes, getting the OKRs and the operational KPIs to run seamlessly, actually what Stavros explained earlier on, and to execute their strategy better. Actually, Qualco expand to the whole European market, so it's very crucial to them to be aligned as they operate in 6 or 7 different countries currently. and they have their teams aligned and now even more motivated. And when we execute our strategy better, when we have our teams better aligned, we always see better results, better outcomes. So these are some of the metrics that they measure. We always measure revenue, we always count on the EBITDA, and you see how fast they grew during the last couple of years, from approximately 500 people in 2020. Now they reach approximately 2,000 people. And they started, as also Polly mentioned earlier, they also start from the level 1. So initially, the leadership team engaged with the OKRs. There is a strong commitment from the CEO and from the COO. And during the last year, we see more and more teams started working with OKRs, and they see more and more the benefits, especially with their cross-functional teams. Another case is Busias. Most of us know Busias because it's the main media partner in the Greek market. They organize so many events and they organize so many awards events. And they have been starting working also with OKRs a couple of years now. And Michalis Busias, the owner of the company, declared that they see the clarity now with their objectives, and their teams feel more empowered. A week ago, we had a meeting with their teams, and we defined their 2024 OKRs as a different cross-functional teams. And once again, they communicated at the end how well they feel regarding the alignment between them, and how more empowered they feel. And once again, we see two more numbers. Actually, in between 20 and 22, their main focus was to increase their EBITDA, to increase their profitability. And this is one of the OKRs they achieved. And finally, one more company is the Assets, a large printing company, one of the largest printing companies in the Greek market. A company of approximately 130 people. Yeah. And the owner of the company, Elena Michalou, said in many cases that OKRs have helped them to improve their efficiencies. And here we see two among many of the OKRs they had during the last years. So to grow their customer satisfaction and improve also the customer experience. And this is one case that also this team helped them a lot to reorganize their teams, because the whole strategy was based on OKRs, and they realized that in order to execute better their strategy, they had to reorganize their teams in order to achieve their results. So these are three cases that we could share from the Greek market, and we had the pleasure to hear all these insights that Polly and Wendy shared with us. And we could probably move forward to the Q&A session.